Hey, it's Wildjosh from Geek-Cetera, and I'm here to talk about Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Can you believe that it is less than a month away? It seems like we've been waiting a while, and we're right at the door, right at the precipice of a new Star Wars movie. So exciting. And this week, they just released on Entertainment Weekly, or EW as many are know it as, some never-before-seen pictures from the movie. We're going to show them, and we're going to talk about them. Let's get into it.
We're going to talk about geeky things.
Woohoo! So as I mentioned, EW, or Entertainment Weekly, just released 8 never-before-seen photos from Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, along with 3 different variations of covers for the episode. And they're calling it the Star Wars Untold Stories from every episode and Secrets from the Rise of Skywalker. So look for that on store shelves where you can pick up magazines. It looks pretty cool, maybe something you want to keep in your collection. So I figured we'd go through slide by slide. So there's 8 pictures, but 3 different variations of covers, and I wanted to go through the covers as well. So we're going to start with the very first cover 1 of 3, and it shows a cast from the prequels. And I think that is so cool. I mean, really, I am a collector of Star Wars stuff. I don't usually collect the magazines, but these covers are so good. I would almost like to get them framed. They look like pieces of art. So the first one, like I said, from the prequels, it follows characters that are from episode 1 all the way through episode 3, with Anakin right in the middle there, and it looks so good. It's great. And then the second one, of course, would follow in line. We're getting now the characters from the original trilogy from episode 4 through episode 6, with Luke right in the front. We got even Wicket there in the front with them, R2, all the main characters, all the heroes and villains that we love. And then lastly, the last cover, the 3 of 3 cover, gives us the characters from the newest trilogy, through episodes 7 through 9. And we have all the characters that we've come to love, the villains, and it's so wonderfully done. I would love to get this, like I said, put together and framed. It's awesome. So really cool stuff. We don't get a whole lot from the covers besides the fact that it looks really neat. Now, the first picture that we get for this series of photos is a picture of Rey. She's this is a picture that, or a still from a section of the trailer that we actually got, where she's using a remote to train, it looks like, in the forest. And by the picture, I'm not saying anything new here, but to me, it appears that she's training possibly on Endor. We see the forest in the background, and it just, to me, it looks like Endor's a dense, luscious forest. Luscious? Did I just say that? Yeah, I did say that. Okay. A dense, lush forest, full of trees and foliage. And we see her there focused on the remote, similar to the remote that we saw in episode 4 that Luke was training with. And she's holding some kind of red bandage, which makes me wonder if at one point she had that wrapped around her eyes so that she couldn't see. Maybe trying to, similar to Luke had the blast shield down on the helmet when he was practicing with the remote, trying to hone her force abilities. And then the second picture that we get is just a close-up of Kylo, and in the background we see troopers. This picture is really interesting to me, even though we don't get a lot there, and you could easily just look at this and go, okay, yeah, it's a picture of Kylo with some soldiers behind him. But to me, I could almost see where there's some people that feel that Kylo could be a redemption story for Kylo, and he could turn back to the light side. That this picture here could be these soldiers with their weapons drawn towards him. Like maybe he's turning, or something is happening where they've been sent after him. I could be wrong. Those weapons could be trained at someone in the foreground that we don't see. But to me, it looks like they could almost be trained on him. And from the picture, it looks like they're aboard some kind of starship, maybe a Star Destroyer, one of the ones that we see. Maybe it's a battle station or a base that we haven't seen yet. But to me, it looks like it might be on a Star Destroyer or something like that. And let me know what you think. Are those weapons trained towards Kylo, or are they just trained past him and we don't see what they're actually aimed at? The next one, we have a picture of Jana and Finn together, standing in a field. I don't know what planet this is on. It definitely doesn't look like it's a planet that maybe we've seen before. It might be a new planet, or I don't know. It just looks, it's more prairie-ish and fieldish. And so we've seen this outfit for both of these characters before, but putting them together, I can see a similarity, a resemblance. I actually heard it theorized from others that maybe Jana and Finn are actually related. Maybe Jana is Finn's sister, and he, in the events between the movies, or even in the events of the movie, comes to find out who his sister is and reconnects with her in some way. And that's who we're seeing here. Could be. There's also been a lot of rumors that she could be the daughter of Lando Calrissian, which I could see as well. Because we know we're going to be getting Lando, and there's going to be some backstory there. So this could be his daughter as well. But I thought the interesting idea, it was an interesting idea that this could be Finn's sister. And she's now joining the fight along with the Resistance and her brother Finn. This next picture we have of the Resistance, they look like they're preparing for something. And in the background, you can see it's very dark, very green. You have these Resistance fighters in the front. It looks almost like they're listening to someone give them a plan. Maybe this is the plan right before they go to the remnants of the Death Star or something else. But I'm wondering now, with what we saw of Rey earlier, where she's got the remote and she looks like she's in the jungle, maybe on Endor. And then the background of this picture, I'm wondering if the new Resistance base could be on Endor. And I think that would be really an interesting idea, because Endor is a really cool planet, first off, and we know that the Empire had some structure there, so they could be actually hiding out in an old Empire base on Endor, and that's what we're seeing here, is this is their new base. They're getting prepared for some sort of battle, some sort of plan that they're putting in motion, and they're going to go execute. So not a whole lot from this picture. I tried to examine the faces in the back. I did not recognize any of them as being characters from other things besides the main three characters in the front row. And then we get a picture of General Pryde here with a scowl on his face. Love this picture. His robe that he's wearing is different than I've seen any other Imperials wear. Obviously, he's not an Imperial. He is a First Order. He's in the First Order, but I mean, it's got that same Imperial look. And I actually really like this picture. Where we left the First Order after the Last Jedi, Snoke, one of the main leaders, is dead, and you have Hux and Kylo Ren, who do not get along, and they kind of bicker back and forth, and they have this immaturity going, and it almost makes you think, like, who is this group being led by? These two kids that can't get along. I think this character, Pryde, General Pryde, brings some stability to that leadership. It's not just run by these two kids that can't control their emotions and are immature. There is some seasoned leadership, possibly even ones that were in the Empire before and have carried on through, and that's what we're seeing here in General Pryde. This is a seasoned veteran of the Empire, and he is bringing some rigid structure, almost Tarkin-esque, to the group. So that's what I think we're seeing there. It looks again like in the background that he probably is on some kind of Star Destroyer, not Death Star, Star Destroyer, or some kind of base of operations. Next, we get a picture of First Order troopers, and in the background we get our first picture, or what I think maybe it's not our first picture. I shouldn't say that. I think we may have caught glimpses of this in the past, but we see a clear picture of some First Order snow troopers, and we see some snow coming down. Looks like they're on a snowy planet. I forget the name of the planet that Zori Bliss is supposed to be from, but I believe it's a snowy planet similar to this. So that's probably where this photo is being taken. But I thought it was interesting that we're getting snowtroopers again. That's a carryover from the original trilogy where we got snowtroopers on the planet Hoth. And but it's an interesting formation. We see that they're just like the Imperial of old. They have a trooper for every kind of situation that they could possibly need. And then our next picture, we have 4 of our heroes. We have Poe, Finn, Rey, and Chewbacca in a very dark area, only being illuminated by that blue glow of the lightsaber. And in this picture, and I could be wrong, but it looks to me like Poe is holding the lightsaber, which is odd to me because Rey is in there. That why would Poe be holding it? But it almost looks like to me like they're using it like a flashlight to illuminate the space they're in, and whatever they're looking at is startling them. It's giving them some surprise. What it is, we'll have to wait and see. Are they going to have to fight some sort of creature in there, or are they discovering something that is awakening them and they're like, wow, what is going on? So we'll have to see. But interesting to me that it looks to me in this scene that Poe is holding the blue lightsaber and not Rey and not Finn, which we've seen Finn hold it before as well. And then lastly, our last picture that we got from this Entertainment Weekly look is a picture of Chewbacca, Finn, and Poe in the Millennium Falcon in the cockpit flying, and we got Poe doing his woohoo that he gives us in the movies so often, and we got Chewbacca. It looks like he's letting out one of his Wookiee growls, and so I think this is the first time in the movies, in the new trilogies anyway, that we have seen Poe pilot the Millennium Falcon. So kind of an interesting thing. Poe is one of the greatest pilots, so I'm sure he has no problem piloting the Millennium Falcon, but I think this is our first shot of seeing that. So that's what we have in the for the look of Entertainment Weekly, the 8 new pictures. What did you think? Did you see something that I maybe missed that you'd like to bring out? Well, if so, leave a comment. I'd love to talk about it. No comments, stupid comments, so leave one and we'll talk about it for sure. And yeah, let us know what you think. And also, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on any of our content, and may the Force be with you.